equally here.
Wonderful. Wonderful to have you over here, Natalia. It's always a pleasure. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you here. So, with a little delay because we had some tech issues, we are happy to be here today with you. Our topic in this Frogeex Green Tech Talk is carbon capture and bamboo. And who did we invite? We invited Miss Natalia Reatugui to join us today and have a little conversation about what is the capacity, what is the potential of bamboo in carbon sequestration. Now, just to give you a little bit of an intro on the topic, you hear and read a lot. We all are aware of the climate crisis, of the challenges that we have ahead. Now everybody's kind of looking for solutions, and bamboo seems to be really like a magical, super powerful plant that can help us in many ways. And there are so many applications of this grass. So we are really happy to have Natalia Reatugui today here with us. Now let me also give you a little bit of an intro on Natalia's background. Natalia is a forest engineer. She has a master in tropical forestry and management at TU, Technical University Dresden in Germany. She has more than 15 years of experience working with bamboos in different links of the value chain, including taxonomy and silviculture. She's trained in China, Colombia, and Mexico on this topic. So really the hotspots in this field for those of you which are a little bit more knowledgeable on where it's happening, where the sourcing is. And she has also been working in research groups based in Peru, Finland, regarding ecology and the value chain of bamboo products. Now, let me welcome Natalia in this call today. Thank you very much for taking the time, being here with us, and maybe answering some of the basic questions, having the basics right on bamboo, and then kind of elaborating through the topic.
Oh, thank you very much, Jana, for the invitation. I would try to do my best answering these questions. I know that I have a lot of experience working with bamboos, but this topic with carbon sequestration is like kind of new also, no? So yeah, I will do my best today.
I'm sure we will have a great discussion and definitely learn more of that. Thank you for everybody who is watching. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you would have anything of interest for you that is regarding this topic, I would like to ask you to put it in the comments. We see that, and we can answer that in the session or afterwards if we don't come to that. Now, that was also a little bit of an intro. It's a big topic that is now coming up. Everybody wants to take action. Now, bamboo, it's a real hype around bamboo now starting. All sorts of stuff is possible. How real is carbon sequestration with bamboo? Is it something that is really feasible? And is it really so powerful? What can you share with us on that?
It is. Actually, all woody plants have a great carbon sequestration potential. But why is bamboo maybe has this kind of comparable advantage is because the way it grows. No, we have seen always in our gardens that grasses grow without without stopping them, and bamboo are exactly that, as a grass, but with woody characteristics. So that's what it makes it so potentially amazing, no, for carbon sequestration. Especially, well, it happens that bamboos have different rhizome systems. Rhizome is actually an anchor kind of organ that grows underneath the soil. So we have leptomorph bamboo, which are like the ones that run, like are similar to grasses, and the big ones, which is pachymorph bamboos. Those look like a kind of elephant, no? And this there was a study made in the 90s that actually a study for guava specifically that calculated that the amount of biomass underneath the soil is 30% of the total biomass of the plant. This is for pachymorphs, no? So yes, I mean pachymorphs has like beside all the biomass above the soil, it has underneath the soil, no? And also Beside this, they grow really fast, so you don't have to plant again. You plant them and then you cut them, and they keep growing, no? And growing, and these columns is the carbon stored. So that's what it makes it so important, on like a good tool maybe now for climate change mitigation.
Very interesting point that you make, and actually a bridge to my next question, which is around the root system and the capacity of the root system to capture carbon, to store it. And what's the difference? I mean, can we kind of increase the capacity of bamboo when we manage it right, when we kind of, help, support, or develop the root system?
Yes, not only with the root system, but if you have a proper management, what you do is that you don't allow the release of carbon of dead plants. No, normally bamboos above the soil, the columns have a lifespan of between 4 and 7 years, maybe, and then they die on like standing. No, and then they start decomposing. So when they decompose, they start releasing the carbon in the air, in the atmosphere. No. So what you do when you cut the columns, or for any product that you're using, is that you're storing the carbon forever, no, for the lifespan of the product, because normally organic products have a lifespan.
Mhm.
So yes, you are avoiding this, no. Normally, the root system has to also be maintained, but in China they do it a lot. I mean, they take out the roots that are old,
Mhm.
so new roots can start growing. No, roots not. I'm talking about the rhizomes, no, because the
Mhm.
rhizomes do not take out nutrients; they just anchor the plant. But this technique is really, you need machines maybe to do it, because like manpower is it's I mean, you can do it by manpower, but it's a lot of work and very intensive. So yeah, so this way, but maintaining the clump clean, talking about like non like cutting it before the bamboos die or they're over mature, is also a good way to avoid releasing carbon to the atmosphere. No.
Mhm. I hear you, and it's also a super interesting thing because, is there any? You also help businesses to kind of develop their product, find the right plant that would be suitable for their production, etc. So, what would be the application of these rhizomes when you say? I mean, it's not taking away, the nutrition for the plant, but it's anchoring it. But you can reduce it. What would be the application? Are you aware of any maybe
Uh,
practical things that?
well, in some, I mean, for products in Colombia, for instance, I've seen, I'm sure also in China or in Asia in general, they use it for furniture. No. But the main and the most important maybe use of the rhizome is for ecological services. Rhizomes are great for capturing and containing the soil, no? So for example, for rehabilitation projects and for places where the soil is not very stable, it also is quite good. Also, like next to river margins in Peru, there's a lot of projects where they use it in river margins to avoid the river taking out the banks. No, of
Mhm.
course you have to check out which species, because as we have seen in the post, and also the discussions that have been coming out in the comments,
Mhm.
some species tend to be invasive. So
Mhm.
we have to be careful and pick up the right species for the use, and also like um, we have to be careful that we're not affecting like native vegetation in. But normally, what I have seen is that bamboo is great nearby, like landscapes where are already kind of degraded. There's no any more forest around, just farms and human settlements. No.
Mhm. So, I mean, pretty interesting points that you mentioned, and also, around all the discussion around in invasive species like bamboo, which is not native
Mhm.
in Europe, and how do we manage that? How do we approach that? For the moment, we do not have any regulation that would be kind of restricting that, or
Mhm.
not in all the countries, which may be kind of opening up opportunities for businesses, but as well can be a threat if not managed well. Yeah, so that was also the topic.
Mhm.
So for you, when we talk and also the root system, let's go back just to the point to finish that off around the root system and the spread of species like bamboo. What is your perspective on that? Is it, yeah, what would be your take for businesses that, for example, now hear about this carbon sequestration possibilities? You just need to find the right one, and you can have, for example, carbon credits maybe generated with that, and you can use it for building or whatever. I mean, cutlery.
Mhm.
We have so much
Mhm.
stuff that can be done with bamboo, or even clothing or food. So what's your advice to them, or your kind of guidance on this to
Mhm.
manage also the feedback, the situations that they will face as an entrepreneur in this field?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, there's going to be like criticism as in
As
every
always.
way, as always. So don't worry, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, invasiveness is, it depends. I mean, it's, there are species for sure that are that are very very fast, and they outgrow other native ones that
Hmm.
need like 80 years to grow. And for sure, bamboos do not need 80 years to grow. So of course, it's like a competition. Competition in nature is normal. But especially this happens with leptomorphs bamboo, because their root system, their rhizome systems are really small and very long, and they can like grow really fast. No, with pachymore's bamboo, invasiveness is more difficult. No, it could happen, especially when they have like long necks, but it's not the case. So yeah, I would suggest there are 1,200 species of bamboos. If we take out at least 500, or with like with possibility of cultivation, so
Hmm.
there are species that you can that adapt to these situations. No, this
Hmm.
is the first thing. And what was the second? Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, what would be your guidance for the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs? So, I mean,
So
criticism is what you say given. There are species
Mhm.
picking the right species. So there are people like yourself specialized in forestry, in product application, that can help with this. Is this correct? That we
Yeah.
also help
Yes.
with the Frogeex network to reach out to the right people that can help. People that are interested to maybe
Absolutely.
start a business or develop a product in this matter. So.
Yeah, absolutely. The most, I think that this is not. I wouldn't say that this is an issue. There are some people that are working in ecology, especially, that are really I mean, like, really strict, no, in which species to grow.
Mhm.
But we are talking about business here, no. Of course, we take care of the. I mean, I'm concerned of the ecological implications of non-native species, but we're talking
Mhm.
about. I mean, I've been working with bamboos in Peru, and these bamboos have been introduced more than 50 years ago. I mean, they are already there. We are not bringing new stuff, no. But you have to work with whatever is already adapted in your around your landscape, because it's bamboos are really related with or cultivated bamboos are really linked to human settlements, no. So I think that it's possible to work with that. And the first thing that if people wants to establish bamboos, is to know for what. I mean, what for, no, with which kind of product they want to have, or what is exactly the objective of the plantation. And then after that, uh, it's not impossible to find one that suits this objective without affecting that much the ecosystem.
Mm. I hear you. And also just to kind of reflect on the point you mentioned, um, ecology and the biodiversity impact. Apparently, we are very close to such type of discussions, and we love that because it's really the type of understanding that you have a holistic understanding of how do you plan the environment, and that really brings out also the global approach, because now we know where the centers of bamboo are. We know that the supply chain do not work like this 100%. I mean, you cannot rely 100% on the supply chains as they are built right now. They are too complex, and if they fail, they fail badly, and we all will feel that or felt it in the
Yeah.
corona
Yes.
time. So we certainly need to kind of adapt, and that brings a lot of questions, a lot of opportunities. We know there is planting of bamboo already happening. As mentioned before, the regulation is different country to country, so we recommend to check it for everybody, to check the list of invasive species, if it's on or not. Then you get some first guidance, where it's allowed to plant it at all, in what conditions, how you need to manage the barriers to kind of spread the plant,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But it highlights also the need to align globally on how do we want to do things going forward. We know the forests are being used and abused to the max. We know that reforestation takes time until they have the same quality. We know climate is changing, so we have different conditions for the trees to grow, to bring, to sequester carbon, to capture carbon, to provide for the industries. So there is really the question, I mean, how do we want to do it? If bamboo or hemp or whatever the commodity is,
Mm-hmm.
we need to be very transparent on how do we want to manage the supply chains, and what are the positives and the negatives of that? What is the trade-off, and how much can we trade off on that if we are to plan a responsible going forward?
Yeah,
And
yeah, and also, sorry, and also
please.
like take into account where do we plant them, no? Because there's a lot of degraded land now around the world, uh, or um, or lands that are not are like non-used anymore. So these are like great places or great opportunities for us to establish bamboo, no? Of course, we need to recover these soils because some of them are really eroded, but I think that like cutting forests for establishing a monoculture is not. I mean, like if you're releasing the carbon from the forest to plant some uh, some um, some plant that actually is going to be a monoculture, so that's
Mhm.
zero. Your net carbon sequestration is zero. Is so you're not doing anything. You're just creating more harm. So
If we put it in the calculation, you are not negative positive, you are
no,
then
you're
doing.
zero plus losing biodiversity.
Mm,
So I really love bamboo. It's my passion. I am an advocate for the plant, but I am also not like part of the sect. So so
it's like.
so it is important to also like check out, no, what are they selling us? They are selling, yeah, bamboo is a green product, uh, but these plants, where do they come from? If do they come from a place where forest used to be, or actually they are part of a forestation or reforestation
Mhm.
project in an area where there was nothing, no?
Agree. I mean, and super
Mhm.
interesting stories, I mean, that you can come across, and I'm sure we're going to share about it later. But back to our
Mm.
topic of carbon capture. So we talked also a little bit about the species. Are there any particular species that you would say, hey, or maybe a study or a report where you can guide us towards to when, this is a species especially suitable for, this and this and this carbon sequestration or carbon capture as well?
Mm, may I share one? I've just found a very interesting chart from IMBAR, from a publication. We can share this publication because it's open access.
For sure,
Maybe
for
I
sure. We love
can
that.
can I
If
share
it, hmm Please,
with
sorry
you
for,
where
for the interruption.
presentar. Sorry, but it was a last time thing. I don't know, diapositive, no.
New
Okay.
platform.
I am sharing with you, no?
You can, or you can just drop it in the private
Ah,
chat and
yeah,
we
just
will
yeah.
edit.
Okay. Can you see it?
Not yet. Whatever.
Yeah, wait,
Medium
I'm going
is
to
good for
just
you.
stop detener pantalla. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to share,
Or
okay,
maybe
this
if you have
one.
the link, we can share it in the chat and then add it in the comments after the replay or with the
Okay,
replay.
yeah, let's do it like this because
Mhm.
it's going to be faster. So
Yeah, yeah.
this article, I'm going to share it with you afterwards, a comparison about the amount of carbon that bamboos above ground and below ground compared with forests in general, tree plantations, and Chinese fir plantation, which Chinese fir is one of the species, the top species planted in China for forest products.
So which ones are they? Maybe if you can share, because we know they are like super advanced and
Yeah, these Chinese fir
developing.
plantations, I mean, they are really it's about like high technology plantations in China. They because they don't have many space, so they plant like very small and very slick and round trees. Yeah, so these Chinese fir plantations between tree plantations, forest plantations, bamboo general. You would find the chart in this. That's why I wanted to show it because it's really interesting.
Mhm.
So they actually calculate between in bamboos in general, no, capture between 16 and 128 tons of carbon per hectare.
Mhm.
No,
16 and
above
128. That's a big difference.
16 and 128, yeah, because there are 1,000. There are so many species and they are so different from one
Mhm.
another. And below ground, no, this is above ground. Below
Mhm.
ground, between 8 and 64 tons of carbon per hectare below ground. And they have two species here, moso, which is a leptomorph bamboo, like long rhizome.
Mhm.
Moso bamboo, Philostachys pubescens or Philostachys edulis, above ground is 33 tons per hectare.
Mhm.
And guadua, which is pachymorph, no, the one with big rhizomes, like I said before, above ground captures
Mhm.
69 tons above ground because they are also bigger. But look at this. I said that Moso captures between, I said this is leptomorph, no? But it captures more than guava below ground.
Mhm.
Below ground. 14.8,
Below ground.
uh-huh, and guava 7 tons per hectare. And yeah, so the total
Mhm.
ecosystem carbon that they capture for bamboos is between 94, 392 tons per hectare, around that. No, so between 94 and 300 tons per hectare.
Mhm.
So you have this amount. So all of them capture bamboo, capture, sorry, carbon.
Carbon.
but
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say, okay, yeah, just let's plan this one, which is the one that captures the highest amount. It depends where you are, what are your conditions, no? Because some bamboos grow better in one kind of ecological site, and it just depends. And also it depends in which kind of product you want to obtain, no? Because
So
you cannot plant the carbon bamboo only for the carbon credits. It doesn't make any sense. It's not sustainable.
this is a beautiful point that you make, Natalia, and I really love it. Really resonates with me because it's also the supply loops, not supply chains. In one of our upcoming sessions, you will definitely hear about the regenerative supply chains, and they actually are loops. So I really go back to your point, what you mentioned in terms of if it's a single use thing, a plant just doing this, you plant it just for aesthetics. I mean, why would you do it? You have the land used. Same for solar, for green roofs, for roofs, and in general. If it's there to just take the surface, cover it, and that's it, and then accumulate heat, maybe it's not the right view, that we have the right
Hmm.
perspective. Single use, it's kind of being out of fashion, if I can say it in these terms, because we need to find ways how we combine, how we don't extract more, but just use it better, use it more smart or smartly. more smarter. I'm not a native, so sorry for that.
Me neither. Just local.
Then,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. There are some situations where I would say yes. For example, for soil, to avoid erosion or to
mhm,
avoid landslides and this kind of things, uh, because sometimes, like this is a very specific example, but if you plant, for example, in a very steep slope, no, doesn't make any
mhm,
sense to get any product from there. It's going to be too expensive, and
mhm,
also the soil is not very stable. So you just plant bamboos in this case that actually has this very nice root system, rhizome system that make like a net, and it stays like that.
mhm,
Mm, yeah, then managing it would be, I mean, like expensive, no? So you just leave it there most of the time. It would be nice to have management to avoid carbon release, but as always, reality takes a toll, and uh, and sometimes it's not possible, no, because it takes labor, a lot of labor and costs and everything.
mhm,
But in the case of you have a landscape or a piece of land, if you're a farmer, you're actually using this land to plant bamboo instead of other crop, no?
mhm,
So you want to get as much products as possible, no? So yeah, for carbon or biochar, maybe for the first years
mhm,
it's good because you don't get for the first year you don't get any income from bamboo,
mhm,
no, because you have to wait until you have enough products, enough, so your bamboos are like mature enough to cut,
mhm,
and at least for the first 3 years you don't have any income, no
mhm.
more outcome.
So this is where the carbon credits could make sense for people that decide to go and farm and plant, whether it's Africa, whether it's Latin
Whatever.
America, or whatever the region would be, where they can still
Mhm.
make it economic for them to continue and to build up a sector, because this is what essentially is happening. If we are to replace it or introduce alternatives to how we do
Totally.
things with materials we use, then we need to build up the capacity to deliver, to provide for the segment, for the sector.
Exactly, especially because you have some expenses, no, you have to manage the plantation the first 3 years to get if you're doing it for construction, for example, you need to get good diameter, so you have to harvest the ones that are smaller, and also with for you can also get to have a mixed objective to get bamboo for construction and also
Mhm,
for bamboo shoots, for edible shoots. And yeah, so for all of this you need some management at the beginning, so the carbon credits would make sense for that, no, like an extra income also,
yes.
but not the main income, I would
Mhm,
say.
mhm. Great point. And so let's maybe go back to the forestry element and to sustainability, and also to the capacity. So, are there any procedures or methods of sustainable harvesting practice that entrepreneurs could adopt to ensure like a continuous carbon removal of or by the plant or grass without compromising the health of the system, of the bamboo ecosystem?
Yes, there are some cutting methods that are important to follow. Bamboos are hollow, so normally they are only solid on the diaphragm, which is the part of the knot. These little like lines that
Mm,
segments, no, that segment bamboo, and normally it's important to cut in these areas, so water won't accumulate there, and then it won't rot all the system, because everything is
mm,
connected. One bamboo is connected to the other, no? This is important, and also like avoid the to have dead bamboos in the clump, no, because it just takes space, takes light, and starts like releasing carbon to the atmosphere. So for this, it's important to have a good inventory. I mean, to know exactly how many plants you have. The
Mhm.
age is important because for each use you have different ages of harvest. So for construction, for instance, you need bamboos that have 40 years of age. So normally there's a lot of empirical ways of harvesting. Like there's one with a machete that you clack clack, you cling to the, you touch the or did the small bit to the clamp, and there's like a noise. Okay, it's ready. But
Mhm.
yeah, but you have to have experience. This is really empirical. So normally what enterprises do is they mark the bamboos, no, with have some color strategy or with little tags or whatever. So they are marked, so the age of the bamboo. So you get
Mhm.
yeah, and the cutting technique is also important, no. For the first years, normally you have to avoid a little bit of competition between,
Mhm.
but then bamboos close the I mean they grow, and then you can even have um, plants in the middle, no, of if you have like a good distancing between clumps, then you can have even a small agroforestry system also.
Mhm. So you can help also, for example, companies starting with the plantation to kind of design the optimal space for them, how it could be placed or positioned that we kind of can grow, harvest, and it's a continuous process to kind of.
Yeah, for instance, I was helping or recommending. There's a person from Peru that she has coffee in her field. No, normally coffee
Mhm.
has to have some shadow, because coffee with shadow it's has better quality than the one that is exposed to the light.
Mhm.
So for Dendrocalamus, for instance, Dendrocalamus aspera that we have a lot in Peru, it's a huge bamboo. It's really nice. It's very good for construction and also for bamboo shoots. And they need like 10% di- distancing in lowlands, no?
Mhm.
And because they grow really, really big. So this is 10 meters per 10 meters, and also it doesn't grow. I mean, grows like in clumps, so it's
Mhm.
perfect for an agroforestry system with coffee.
Okay.
Because it starts growing around, and you are also like trying to avoid monocultures.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, so this is a good way of helping the ecosystem to have some diversity, with this kind of models.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was a word towards the end, I would say. Natalia, thank you so much for your time. Now, this was also a very good bridge to our next episode of the Green Tech Talk on bamboo. That we will have one of you. I have to prepare you already, and the next one will be also on a joint project that we have with Natalia and the colleague from Peru, Mauricio Moro.
Yeah,
On
he's from Mexico. He's from
Oh,
Mexico.
Mexico. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Thank you for the correction. He would he would tell me straight. So, and we will be having a session on edible shoots. So, what is it about? What's the quality? Why is it important, etc. So, please stay with us for next week. We will have a short session on that one, and there is also an offer we have for you to kind of be constantly in the loop on the bamboo topics that we share. It's called Bamboo Mastery. We have also connected courses on that, on edible shoots, bamboo farming, and all sorts of interesting stuff that you can do with bamboo with experts like Natalia and Mauricio. So, yeah, this would be it from our side at this point of time. See you on the next one. And thank you so much, Natalia, for being here with us and sharing your insights.
Thank you very much, Jana, for the invitation, and thank you very much, you all listeners on the next side of the screen. We hope that you come for the next bamboo discussion next week. That will be really nice about bamboo shoots, which is also a very passionate topic and very important topic for nowadays.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
And for everybody who came and joined and, listened and viewed. And if you have any comments, let us know, and see you on the next one. Have a great rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.